What's up, everybody? This is Domingo Hero, Knuckle of the Iceberg, and today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Video I'm going to be doing, guys, I'm going to be doing the deck profile. And the deck profile that I'm going to be doing in this video is going to be my updated version of my Cyber Dragon deck profile. This is going to be for the Post Alliance Insight, ALIN, and of course there's actually two cards in Alliance Insight that we do play in Cyber Dragons. And not only that, but also this is going to be for the post ban list, because there is one card that actually came out the ban list and now it's limited to 1, and there's another card that came from semi-limited to 2 up to unlimited to 3, which we will get to that once we review this deck profile. And of course, I want to let everybody know this is a pure version of my Cyber Dragon deck profile as well. So this is a Cyber Dragon pure version with, we do play the Cyber Dark engine as well in Cyber Dragons. So we're going to get to that once I reveal the main deck and the extra deck, as well as the card choices and ratios, and also the timestamps in the description below. So let's not waste any time. So without further ado, let's get this deck profile started. So here we go. We're going to start off with the main deck first. And to start off the main deck, we're going to start off with the monsters. So to start off the monsters, I'm going to show you the Cyber Dragon monsters. So I do play 3 copies of the legendary, the OG, the one and only Cyber Dragon. Next, I play 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Core, 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Hearse, and the 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Monster. So these are the Cyber Dragon monsters that we do play. Of course, Cyber Dragon, the OG. Honestly, I am not a fan of playing like 1 or 2 copies of Cyber Dragon in a Cyber Dragon deck. Okay, I can understand maybe in the Cyber Dark deck you could play like 1 or 2 Cyber Dragon, but 1 or 2 in a Cyber Dragon, I do not like that ratio alone. I feel like 3 is better. It's not really bricky at all in my opinion, to be honest. I know some people say it's not. I feel like 3 is better in my opinion because, you know, it's better, and there's not to mention we do play fusion monsters like Cyber Twin Dragon, Cyber End Dragon in this set. That's why you have to play the 3 Cyber Dragons and stuff. So Cyber Dragon at 3 is always good, you know. It's kind of like what happened with Blue Eyes when people play like 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon and not playing 3, which I'm not a fan of that either. So that's why I feel like Cyber Dragon is always good at 3. It's not bricky at all in my opinion. So there you go. Then we play 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Core. Core is pretty good. You know, when this card is normal summon, you just search for a Cyber spell and try card added to your deck to your hand. Of course, you could search cards like Cyber Emergency, Cyber Cyber Lord Fusion, the Cyber Dark Realm. You could search that card as well. So there's so many Cyber spell cards that we do play in this deck to search with Core. Then we got Hearse. I know some people, some Cyber Dragon player play like 1 or 2. Me, I play 2 because there is 1 card that came out the ban list, and is at 1, which I'll get to that when I review the extra deck. Hearse is a pretty good card as well. We mostly use this card for, like, you know, if it's sent to the graveyard, you know, you just search for a Cyber Dragon monster from the, you know, added to your deck or graveyard to your hand. And also has another effect where, you know, like, you know, you can actually make this card level 5 as well. It also has another effect where, you know, if this card is special summon, you can make this card level 5 until the end phase of this turn. Also, you know, special summon monster for the turn except for machine monster. So yeah, you know, make it level 5 and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. And then we got Cyber Dragon Monster. Monster is basically a monster born for Cyber Dragons. When this card is, if this card is normal or special summon, and then you special, you know, and stuff like that. So it basically, like, you know, target a machine monster with 2100 attack or defense, you know, to your graveyard, special summon it. So it's pretty good. So it's basically, you know, summon out your machine monster that has 2100 attack or defense. So it's pretty good. And of course, Core, Hearse, and Monster has the same effect where this card's name becomes Cyber Dragon when it's, you know, on the field or in the graveyard. So it's pretty good. So I do like this ratio at all. Alright, so now I'm going to show you one of the 2 cards that came out in the Alliance Insight set. So the first card I'm going to show you, of course, I do play 1 copy of Cyber Jormungandr. Jormungandr is really good in this deck. I like playing this card. And I feel like 1 is all you need. You only need 1 Jormungandr. So Jormungandr has an effect where cannot be normal summon / set, must be special summoned by a card effect. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you take 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your deck and either special summon it or equip it to this card as an equipped spell. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except for machine monsters. You can return 1 Cyber Dragon you control to the hand add 1 polarization from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can only use each effect of Jormungandr once per turn. This card is pretty good, you know. Help you get out your Cyber Dragon. You can either special summon it, or you can equip it to it, and also search for polarization, which is pretty good. I do like that as well. It's pretty good in my opinion. I do like that engine very well. Very good effect of Cyber Jormungandr, you know, is pretty cool. So 1 copy is all you need. And now, so those are the Cyber Dragon ones. Now of course, I'm going to show you the Cyber Dark engine as well that we do play. So yes, we do play Cyber Darks, but like I said, this is a Cyber Dragon deck. Yes, we do play Cyber Darks in this engine, but this is the engine for Cyber Dragons that we play. So for the Cyber Dark monsters I play 2 copies of Cyber Dark Claw, 1 copy of Cyber Dark Chimera, and this is the second card that came out from the Alliance Insight set. So 1 copy of Cyber Dark Worm. So these are the Cyber Dark monsters. So we're going to start off with Claw. Claw's pretty good. It has an effect where, you know, if it's sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you can target a Cyber Dark monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. You can discard this card to add 1 Cyber Dark spell and tracker from your deck to your hand. During that, and the other effect says during damage collision, if a monster equipped to this card battles, you can send 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. We mostly use this card just for, you know, searching for a Cyber Dark spell and tracker, like your Cyber Dark round, just in case if we ever need it. So Cyber Dark is pretty good. Some people play like 3. I feel like 2 is fine, honestly. Then we got Cyber Dark Chimera. This card is pretty good as well. This card, you know, you discard spell and trap and add 1 power bomb from your deck to your hand. You can only use dragons or machine cyber monsters as fusion material this turn. Also, once when you fusion summon this turn, you could banish monsters from your graveyard as materials. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you could send 1 Cyber Dark monster from your deck to the graveyard with a different name from the cards in your graveyard, and you can only use each effect of Cyber Dark Chimera once per turn. So that's pretty good. The fact that you can search for power bomb, and then, you know, once you fusion summon, you know, like your cyber monsters, and use them as fusion materials when, you know, Chimera is sent to the graveyard, and then using the materials from your graveyard and banish them as materials. That's pretty good because you can help you easily go for your fusion plays. And then we got Cyber Dark Worm. Like I said, this is from the Alliance Insight set along with Jormungandr. Worm is actually pretty good. It has an effect where this card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. If this card's in your hand or graveyard, and you have another machine cyber monster in your field or graveyard, you can send 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Special summon this card. Then you can add 1 Cyber spell and trap card from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use this effect of Cyber Dark Worm once per duel. So remember, it's a once per duel effect, and you only need 1 Cyber Dark Worm. But the effect of Cyber Dark Worm is very good. So I think these cards, so these Cyber Dark engine does help out this deck a lot. So it's pretty good. So that's it for the Cyber Darks. Now we're going to move on to the other monsters, which are the hand traps. So first I'm going to show you, and the hand traps, you can play any other hand traps you want. It doesn't matter what it is. It's all up to personal preference. You can play any hand traps you want. So let me show you the hand traps that I do play in this deck. I do play 2 copies of Ghost Over Snow Rabbit, 2 copies of Effect Veiler. I also play the 1 copy of Nibiru, the Primal Being. So these hand traps are pretty good as well. You know, it could be any hand trap you want. You could play like Ghost Spell. You could play the Mel Charming ones. You could also play Ash Blossom if you want to. You can also play Drone Lopper. So it could be any hand trap you want to play. So it's up to personal preference. So these hand traps are pretty good in this deck as well. These might be changed, maybe not, but we'll see. But so far these cards are pretty good. And of course, next I do play the 1 copy of Jishikiru, the Star Destroying Kaiju, and the 1 copy of Furious King Regulus. So these are the other cards that we do play, and they're also hand traps as well. Playing the Jishikiru is pretty good, especially if you have this card, and if you have a Cyber Dragon, and of course Clockwork Knight. If your opponent has a monster, you know, you tribute it using Jishikiru, and then, you know, got your Cyber Dragon out the field, and then activate Clockwork Knight, and then you can use Jishikiru and Cyber Future Material to summon out your Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. So that's pretty good. It does come up at times, many times, so there's a lot of combos to play you can do with that. And then you got Theory King Reckless. This card's pretty good. You know, it has an effect where once per turn you can activate each of these effects. First effect says you can target one theory monster or one machine monster in your graveyard, special summon this card for your hand, and if you do, equip that monster to this card. And the other effect reads, when your opponent activates a card in effect quick effect, you can send one theory's monster card from your hand or face up field to the graveyard to negate that effect. A theory monster equipped with this card gains hit under attack. So it's pretty good. We mostly use the first effect where, you know, you can target a machine monster, graveyard, special summon this card from your hand and equip it to it. That's what we mostly use with this effect. So it's pretty good. Alright, so, and the last monsters I played, this is a Pendulum Monster that we play, and that's 3 copies of Blaster, the Negation Fortress. This Blaster is pretty good. It's a really good Pendulum Monster, very good level 5 as well. This one has a Pendulum effect where, you know, negate any card effect, activate in this card's column, and then the monster effect reads, if there is a column with no cards, you can special summon this card from your hand to your zone in that column. You can only special summon this Blaster once per turn. Negate any card effect, activate in this card's column. If this card is in the monster zone, is destroyed. You can place this card in your Pendulum zone. So it's pretty good just to stop, you know, mostly your opponent in the columns and stuff, in their column zones. So it does come up at times. And the good thing about this Blaster, it has 500 attack points, which means you can actually use machine duplication, special summon the other 2 from the deck. So it's pretty good. You know, I know some people play this card at 1. Maybe in the future this might go down to 1. I'm not sure, but I feel like 3 is actually pretty good for right now. So that's it for the monsters. Now we're going to move on to the spells. For the spell cards that we play, I'm going to show you the cyber spell cards that we play. First, I play 3 copies of Cyber Emergency, 1 copy of Cyber Rest System, 1 copy of Cyber Repair Plan, 1 copy of Cyber Lore Fusion, and the 1 copy of Cyber Dark Round. So these are the cyber spell cards that we play. Emergency is a card you always got to play at 3 because it does search for a light machine monster that cannot be normal summoned or sent, or one cyber dragon monster for index to your hand. And if the evacuation of this card is in the owner's possession was negated by an opponent's card effect sent to the graveyard, you can discard 1 card and add this card to your hand. You can only activate Cyber Emergency once per turn. So it's a pretty good searcher. And if your opponent negates this card, you know, you can discard 1 card and add this card back to your hand. But remember, you only have to activate 1 Cyber Emergency per turn. Cyber Rest System, this card is pretty good. You only need 1 of this card. You know, special summon 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your hand or graveyard, and then that monster cannot be destroyed by card effects, so it's pretty good. It's like Monster Reborn for Cyber Dragons. Cyber Repair Plan, another card you always got to play 1. You only need 1. I see some people cut this card out, but I feel like Cyber Repair, you only need this card, and you only need 1. If Cyber Dragon is in your graveyard, you can activate 1 of these effects. If you have 3 or more Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, you can then, at this card's activation, you can activate both effects. So, first effect says you can add 1 light machine monster in your deck to your hand. Second effect, you can target 1 light machine monster in your graveyard, shuffle that target into your deck. So it's pretty good. Searcher, another search, and also recycle. Then we got Cyber Lore Fusion, which this is a card we use to, you know, summon out your Cyber Dragon Fusion. You know, your fusion monsters that, you know, listed for Cyber Dragon. So it's pretty good. Especially summon out your fusion monsters like Cyber End Dragon, Cyber Twin Dragon, or your Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. It's pretty good. But remember, if you activate this card, monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn except for the fusion monster that was summoned with this card. So just keep that in mind. And of course, Cyber Dark Round, you know, activate this card. You add a Cyber Dark monster from your hand with a different name from the cards in the graveyard, and then during your main phase, you can immediately after this card result, normal summon 1 Cyber Dark monster. So it's pretty good. You know, you search, you know, with Cyber Dark Chimera, and then you normal summon the Chimera and stuff like that. So it's very good. So yeah, so these are all the cyber spell cards that we do play, and you can search these cards, you know, with cards like, you know, Cyber Dark Round and some other ones as well. Cyber Dark Core, you can search with Core as well. So next, the other spell cards I do play 3 copies of Lightning Storm. So yes, this card recently went from 2 to 3 in the September ban list that we got a month ago. So it's very good. Good to see Lightning Storm back at 3. You know what this card does, you know, either destroy all your opponent's back row or destroy all your opponent's monster, but you only activate 1 Lightning Storm per turn. So the fact that this card is back at 3 is pretty good. Next, we play 2 copies of Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight is pretty good at 2. you know, all the monsters on the field becomes machine monsters. Your machine monster gains 500 attack. Your opponent's machine monster loses 500 attack and defense. And also, you know, it's pretty good. And you can also search this card with the effect of your Link monsters, Clockwork Knight. So Clockwork Knight, you know, you can search with this card. Also, it's pretty good. We mostly use this, like, you know, for contact fusion. Go for your Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. So it's pretty good at 2. It may be cut down to 1 though, but I think it's, for now, it's pretty good at 2. And for the other cards, we do play like fusions as well. For the 1-ups that I do play 1 copy of Power Bomb, 1 copy of Overlord Fusion, and the 1 copy of Fusion Substitute. Now, the reason why we play Fusion Substitute is because this card is always treated as a polymerization, and you can search this card with the effect of Cyber Jormungandr. Yes, this card says you only got to fusion summon monsters from, you know, from your field, but I feel like Fusion Substitute is still pretty good because it has another effect where you can banish from your graveyard and you target a fusion monster from your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and then you could draw 1 card. So that's the reason why we play Fusion Substitute, and it's pretty good. And then, you know, obviously Power Bomb and Overlord Fusion is pretty good as well for summoning out your Chimera Tech monsters and your Cyber Dragon Fusion monsters, so it's pretty good. 1 of each. Next, I do play 1 copy of Duality, 1 copy of Machine Duplication, and the 1 copy of Call by the Grave to round out the spells. Duality, some people do cut this out. I still feel like you do need it. You only need 1. It's good for, like, if you want to summon out your Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. Machine Duplication, because you only need 1 of this card, obviously, because you're going to need it to summon out, you know, your 2 Cyber Dragons or your Distant Blaster, the Negation Fortress, pretty good. And Call by the Grave, you know, obviously to get rid of the hand traps that activates by your opponent. And that's it for the spells. As far as the traps, I only play 3, which is the 3 copies of Infinite Permanence. Very good hand trap to play, obviously, because negating an opponent's monster is pretty good. So that's it for the main deck. Now we're going to move on to the extra deck. And to start off the extra deck, I'm going to show you guys the fusions. I'm going to show you the Cyber Fusion monsters that we play, the Cyber Dragon Fusion monsters. First, I play 1 copy of Cyber End Dragon and the 1 copy of Cyber Twin Dragon. So these cards are pretty good. Obviously, End Dragon inflict piercing damage. Cyber Twin Dragon attacks twice during the battle phase. And of course, you can even fusion some of this card using like your Power Bomb, so that way you could double its attack points and go for the OTK. And even if you have Clockwork Knight to gain more attack points or so it's very, very good. So 1 of each of these is fine. And this is the reason why I placed the OG Cyber Dragon at 3, because we do play these cards right here. So, very good. Next, I'm going to show you the Chimera Tech Dragons. First, I do play 2 copies of Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon and 2 copies of Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon and the 1 copy of Chimera Tech Metafleet Dragon. So these fusion cards are pretty good. Chimera Tech, we use it for like the OTKs. You know, you can make this card attack like gains like additional 2 attacks by sending, you know, 2 of the light machine monsters from your deck to the graveyard, and for each monster it gains 1 additional attack during each battle phase. So basically you can make it attack 3 times. And then you got Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, obviously for the contact fusion. This card is pretty good if you have this, a Cyber Dragon monster, and if your opponent has like monsters, you can go Clockwork Knight and make them all machines, and then go for Chimera Tech, and then Chimera Tech Fortress go for the OTKs, and it gains 1,000 attack points for each of the materials that was used to summon out this card. And then Chimera Tech Metafleet Dragon, you know, another contact fusion it's pretty good, like, you know, by sending the above monster from the field to the graveyard, and then it gains attack points. It becomes 1,200, multiply the numbers of future materials of this card that it was special summoned by having 1 Cyber Dragon monster plus 1 monster, 1+ monsters in the extra monster zone. So that way, you know, if you have 2 monsters in the extra monster zone plus 1 Cyber Dragon monster, it gains like 1,200 attack points for each, so it's like around 3,600. So it's pretty good for like OTKs and stuff as well. So it's pretty good. That's it. And as far as the fusions, I do play a non-Cyber Dragon fusion, and this card is actually pretty good in my opinion. We do play 1 copy of Hishavar, the Mechanical Dawn. This card is very good. I like playing Hishavar. This card, we do play this card for the negation, where you can bet, you know, if your opponent activates a spell, trap, or an effect, quick effect, banish one face-up light machine monster you control, or 2 light machine monsters from your graveyard to negate the evacuation. Of course, you get that effect once per turn. It's a pretty good card, and it also has 2000 defense, so you always gotta fusion some of this card to put it in defense. You can fusion this card with Overlord fusion as well, so it's pretty good. That's it for the fusions. As far as the XYZs, I do play 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Nova and 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Infinity. So, you know, you all know what these cards does. Of course, Infinity is a pretty good negation. Nova is pretty good, especially when you go for like the combos and go for like OTKs as well. If you have this and then Cyber Dragon Seeger and stuff like that, so it's pretty good. Infinity is a negation. So I see some people play like 1 Nova Infinity. 2 is actually pretty fine, but that might change in the future. That's it for the XYZ. As far as links, I only play 3. 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Seeger, 1 copy of Clockwork Knight, and the last Link Monster to round the extra deck, a card that came out the ban list, 1 copy of Link Karibo to round off the extra deck. Cyber Dragon Seeger, you know, it's there obviously for the combo and for the OTKs and stuff like that, which is pretty good. You all know what the effect does. Clockwork Knight, you know, obviously search for the continuous spell card Clockwork Knight, so it's pretty good. Link Karibo, because this is the reason why I play Hearst at 2, is because you search for this little guy, and of course Link Karibo is pretty good as well. If you want to know what this little guy does, he has an effect where if your opponent declares an attack, you contribute this card, change the opponent's monster's attack to 0 until the end phase of the turn. If this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you contribute 1 level 1 monster, special summon that card, and you can only use this effect once per turn. So it's pretty good. I'm very happy to see Link Karibo come back from the ban list at limited to 1. Of course, Cyber Dragon Hearst is level 1. Cyber Dragon Noster is level 1 as well, so you can use one of those cards for Link material for Link Karibo. So it's very good. It's good to see Link Karibo back, or in Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, the anime show, as they called it, Linky. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, that's it for this deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed me doing my updated version of my Cyber Dragon deck profile. It's pretty good playing the pure version of this one. I see some people play like a Cyber Dragon with K9s. I might do that in the future, maybe if I can get the K9 cards, but only time will tell. But that's going to be it for this video, so don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe, and post your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about my updated version of my Cyber Dragon deck profile. That's going to be it for this video. This is Domingo Hero Network of the Ice Bear. All I can say is take care, have a good day, goodbye everyone, and Domingo Hero Network of the Ice Bear is signing out. Peace!